Hi and welcome to the Belfry. This is the beautiful Brabazon Golf Course, the par 5 17th. My name is Chris Ryan, and in this video we're going to cover what I see as being the 3 most common causes of the dreaded slice shot. Just before we get started, in the corner of the screen you should have the details on my social media accounts, so if you don't already then please go ahead and follow me on those. So the slice shot, this is still the shot that we see more golfers struggle with than any other. It is incredibly difficult for me to say exactly why you may slice the golf ball. However, there are often things that I see cropping up more than others in the golf swing, and that's what we're going to cover in this video, the 3 things that I see giving golfers the most issues. There is, I believe, a very, very good chance that if you do struggle with a slice, one of these or maybe more of these will be present in your golf swing. If we can get you to check these, and if you find that you're at fault, work on it, we can hopefully help you hit that ball a little bit straighter. So the first thing that I see as being a real cause for a slice is how golfers apply the top hand to the golf club. So in my case, that's my left hand. And we often see golfers apply this top hand with the palm too much underneath the handle. What this does is it places the top hand in what we would class as a weak position. A weak position will often cause the club face to return to impact, pointing to the right of the target for a right-handed golfer. Very simply, if everything else is pretty good and the club face points to the right, your golf ball will slice to the right. So we need to check that top hand and ensure that it is not in this weak position. Really, really simple way of doing that. You're going to take a T-peg and you're going to place that T-peg right in the crease between your thumb and your index finger. So right in there. Once you've done that, you're going to apply this top hand exactly as you would normally. Now, if this was my normal hold in my top hand, what I would like you to then do is just stand up and pick the club up in front of you. Now you can see how I've got this golf club with the leading edge or the grooves vertical, and you'll notice how the T-peg points forward of the club shaft. This is indicating to me that my top hand is too weak on the golf club. It's rotated too much underneath the handle. I would like the T-peg to run almost vertically or straight down that club shaft. So what do I have to do? I have to apply my hand with my palm facing a little bit more down towards the ground. That's going to put your top thumb a little bit more to the trail side of the club shaft. And when you pick the golf club up now, you're going to see how the T-peg is a lot more neutrally running down that club shaft. So, such a simple little exercise. If we can get the T-peg straight down the club shaft, that is going to give you the indication that you need that your grip is nice and neutral. If it is to the front side of the golf club, that is indicating that you have a weak grip. In 9 times out of 10, I would see a weak grip causing a golfer to slice the ball to the right. So the first thing you do is going to check that grip. A weak grip will definitely cause a slice. If we can get that grip a little bit more neutral, that should begin us on our way to improving that slice. Point number 2 is, again, looking at the club face, but not necessarily with the grip, more to do with how we use our wrists in the golf swing. The second main reason I see that golfers slice the ball is that when they arrive at last parallel in the downswing, so as they're approaching the golf ball, we're talking about last parallel, I would very often see the lead wrist, so in this case it's my glove hand, my left hand, the wrist has got too much shape. It is extended or it is cupped. So if I do that now for you, so I try and extend it or cup it, so there's now a big change between the back of my forearm and the back of my hand. That will also have the effect of causing the club face to be more open. You can see how the club is almost lay on its back. Now, if the club face is open here, I have got very, very little time to do anything about that. Therefore, there is a good chance, or a greater chance, of the club face pointing to the right down at impact. If the club face points to the right at impact, there's a very, very good chance that ball's going to slice. So point number 2 is all about how we use the wrists and how we control those to control the club face. These golfers who have this open face at last parallel can often have the lead wrist positioned quite nicely at the top. You can see how my lead wrist is nice and flat, but as they start down, they often try and pull down on the golf club. They're maybe trying to get some more lag, or they're trying to get some more power. They pull down on the golf club to the point where as they reach this last parallel, the wrist is extended, the face is opened, that ball will slice. In an attempt to make this ball not slice, these golfers very often try and release the club much, much earlier. That can often help and get that club face a little squarer, but you'll notice how my handle gets delivered back. I present a lot of loft, I struggle with strike, and so if we get that club face open at this point through that lead wrist, we often get a couple of options. We slice the ball, or we hit really weak high shots where the strike isn't particularly good. So neither is a great option, and both of those options are really as a result of the lead wrist being extended at last parallel. So what are you going to do as the golfer? What you need to try and feel is that from the top, with your lead wrist, you are applying a twist away from you, which will create a feeling that the lead wrist is a little bit more arched, a little bit more bowed, or as we call it, a little bit more flexed. If we can achieve this, we will control the club face. And if we can control the club face, we can control the slice. So from the top, I want you to feel as if you're applying a twist away from you, to feel like the logo on the glove is facing away from you. So in this case, I feel like the logo on my glove is twisting towards the camera. That's going to help my lead wrist find this nice position. Club face is going to be much more under control, and that is going to help us reduce those slice shots. Number 3 reason why I see golfers slice the golf ball is that as they start their downswing, the club shaft gets excessively steep. You can see here how I've got that golf club close to vertical, if not past vertical. The grip end points too much down towards my toes. That club shaft is very, very steep. From here, there is a very, very good chance that my club path is going to be excessively to the left of my target. And when the club path is excessively to the left of the target, we often find the ball slices to the right. So a steep shaft in transition is the third thing that I see as being a common cause for a slice. What causes that steep shaft in transition is very often the trail arm. If I get to the top and I keep my elbow in this position and I try and begin my downswing, what you'll find is as my palm starts to face more down towards the ground, the club shaft steepens. You will notice from the camera angle there that my elbow is out behind my back. What we have done there is we have taken an arm which is rotated correctly, and we have changed the way that that arm is rotated. That steepens the club shaft. So what do you want to do? From the top, I want you to feel that this elbow starts to work back down in front of you, and you feel that you maintain this rotation of your arm away from the target. At the top of your golf swing, your arm should be rotated away from the target, which is correct. If we can maintain that, we should be able to get the golf club into a much, much better delivery position. You'll notice how the elbow has gone back inside my back line, as opposed to this motion where the club steepens and the elbow gets stuck behind my back. From here, that golfer is in a whole world of trouble. They're going to start making all sorts of different movements, lots of different compensations down at the impact area to fix that. Ultimately, they haven't got enough time to do that. We generally don't see the golfer fixing that correctly, and that golfer can very often slice the golf ball. Now, the bad news, unfortunately, is that if you really struggle with the slice, you may well be doing more than one of these elements. There are a lot of these which actually go together. Very often, if that club shaft steepens, we often find the lead wrist extends and the face opens. So there are a lot of these which are very linked, and we may well need to address a couple of these things to really get that slice out of your game. I do not want you to go ahead and fix all these 3 things. I want you to check them. I want you to check whether these are present in your swing. If you feel they are, then you can maybe set about working on them. But let's check first, let's see where you are. Maybe video yourself, maybe get a friend to video it. Check your golf swing, see which of those 3 you fall into, and then you can begin working on those. I almost guarantee that if you slice it, one of those, if not more, will be present in your swing. That's the good news, because then we can start working on it, we can improve the ball flight, and that's hopefully going to help you improve your golf. Right, par 5 17th. I have got a 3-iron because I've still got some 230 odd yards to go. I might even struggle to get there with this, but I'm going to make sure I do all those things. Grip is nice and neutral. I'm going to feel my lead wrist is good, and I keep my right elbow rotated and back in front of me. And I'd certainly be pretty happy with that shot. It's just drawing into the middle of the green, might be a little bit short, but I'd certainly be happy with that, and that certainly didn't slice. And hopefully you will get that out of your game if you really do struggle with that shot. Thank you for watching. Hopefully that's helpful. If it has helped you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments box. Let me know. If you did like the video, please click the like button. And last thing, if you don't already, please subscribe. There's loads more videos on my channel already. There's loads more going up weekly. There is a link down below in the description box which will allow you to do just that. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.